Do you want to build a powerful Sith Lord for D&D? Well, in today's video, we'll be creating Darth Vader, the Dark Lord of the Sith. Welcome to the dark side of Dungeons & Dragons. Let's get rolling. Let's get some background info so we can understand what we need to build this absolute unit of a character. One of the most famous Jedi Knights of the Clone Wars era, Anakin Skywalker, was seduced by Emperor Palpatine. He was led down a path of deceit to the dark side of the Force. In an attempt to keep his nearest and dearest from dying, he was drawn ever closer to the dark side, and after Mace Windu's death, he was inaugurated as Darth Vader, bringing a reign of tyranny to the galaxy. Darth Vader is absolutely 100% a level 20 character in the Star Wars shows and movies. He had without doubt the most uncapped potential in the Force, in all of Jedi history, with only Yoda and Palpatine having more raw power than him in the Clone Wars era. His maiming at the hands of his former master Obi-Wan Kenobi made sure he could never become as powerful as he should and could have been. Still, Vader was feared for a very good reason over the course of the 20-odd years he was active as Sith Lord. Let's take a look at how to build the Emperor's most powerful ally. As Vader is now more machine than man, there is an obvious choice in front of us. So with that in mind, we'll be building Vader as a Warforged. +1 to strength. Vader's aggressive fighting style utilises the lightsaber. Vader needs his mechanical limbs' enhanced strength to help him cleave through his enemies with ease. +1 to constitution. The mechanical suit that Vader now has to live in is pretty grim, but it is also his life support and armour. Vader can take plenty of punishment and keep fighting on with his suit supporting him in all the right ways. Composite plating. The armoured segments of Vader's suit, like his gloves and greaves, have been treated with lightsaber-resistant materials. Vader doesn't have the agility that Anakin once did, so the +1 to AC that this feature gives makes a big difference. Living construct. I mean, this couldn't be any more perfect for Vader. For downtime, he only needs 4 hours a day, and we can flavour this as his Force meditation. On top of that, his suit's air filters make him immune to disease, and the pain he is constantly going through on a daily basis makes it nearly impossible for him to sleep. Instead, Vader meditates, focusing on his power in the dark side to channel his pain and anger into revitalising power. As always, we're going for a 27-point buy. We're trying to get the flavour of Vader, and hopefully we'll have an incredibly effective and fear-inspiring Sith Lord. Feel free to change these as you like and where you see fit, but this is just how I would do it for this Darth Vader build. Strength 16. We want this as high as possible starting out. Vader can crush throats with his artificial hands, so his enhanced strength from Warforged cybernetics is clear. Not to mention he is one of the finest lightsaber duelists of his era. Dexterity 8. Vader's sword strikes are so fast and precise they are a blur. He can even draw power from his artificial limbs with the Force when the need arises. Vader has changed his fighting style from the acrobatic showman to the brute force master he is now. This minimises the need for dexterity, relying instead on endurance and raw power from his suit. Constitution 14. Between his armoured suit and his high starting constitution, Vader should be able to take a decent amount of punishment. He won't be out of place as a frontline combatant, so boost his strengths when you can. Intelligence 12. Vader always excelled at physical activities like lightsaber combat, but struggled with the academic side of his Jedi training. He was not stupid by any means, and we will need a decent intelligence for his primary class, which we will come to shortly. Wisdom 10. Darth Vader's judgment was rash as a young Anakin Skywalker. Now he is driven by fear and self-hatred and is always prone to bursts of uncontrollable rage. It took many years for him to see through the lies of the Emperor, and even longer to oppose him. So yeah, wisdom is not his strong point. Charisma 13. This is a way to represent Vader's commanding aura. He's not charismatic in the usual sense, but Vader commands a room immediately. From his intimidating aura and towering height to his crimson red blade, few stand before Vader without terror in their heart. This stat will also help us with our class choices later on in this video. If you've enjoyed this Darth Vader D&D character build so far, please remember to use the Force to push the like button and subscribe to see more character builds in the future. Young Anakin Skywalker was a slave on Tatooine, and only through his staggering talents as a pod racer, pilot, and chance meeting with a Jedi did he escape. Later in his teens, he became a Jedi Knight and a close friend to Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. This was until the young Jedi Knight betrayed his friends and his order. But before this betrayal, he was a prominent and well-respected figure in the Clone Wars, the conflict that threw the galaxy into turmoil before the formation of the evil Empire. As the Clone Wars are a key reason for Anakin's mindset before his spiralling downfall into Darth Vader, we'll be going with a soldier background. Athletics and intimidation proficiency. Anakin was a top-tier general in the Clone Wars, quite often turning the tide of battle with his presence alone. Cleaving through endless hordes of battle droids was no problem for him, and he was a very fast mover. Though his suit had reduced his superior speed and agility, Vader can rely on it for any feats of athleticism he may need to perform. His presence alone intimidates others into submitting to his orders, and this was the skill he developed in the Clone Wars, but mastered with perfection as a Sith Lord. Land vehicle proficiency. Although Anakin was a very gifted pilot and racer, there really is no good comparison for that in D&D 5e. If your campaign features flying vehicles or animals, feel free to approach your dungeon master about trading this for flying vehicles animal handling. Gaming set proficiency. Probably not that relevant to Vader anymore. However, Anakin probably would have played a round or two of Pazak or Sabak with his clone troopers once upon a time. Feature military rank. Vader is far removed from the Imperial command structure, reporting only to the Emperor. Vader may command any Imperial soldier or officer with impunity, and none would dare disobey the Sith Lord, as they know their life would be in forfeit. This will be one of the most tricky builds that we've done to date, purely because of the vast range of Sith abilities Vader brings to the D&D table. A nearly peerless lightsaber duelist and extremely powerful Force user, we need to transfer this into a D&D character without losing the flavour of Darth Vader. First, Vader will begin his D&D adventures as a fighter. This gives us some pretty decent proficiencies and a few Force-flavoured abilities to seal the deal. We will need 10 levels of fighter by the end of the build, and we're going for the Psi Warrior subclass. It's not really that important where we start to multiclass, and that's up to you guys. We'll start blending in some Divine Soul Sorcerer when we want to really kick Vader's Force powers to the highest gear. We'll take a maximum of 8 levels of Divine Soul Sorcerer. Finally, it would be a good idea to level up Vader relatively early with 2 levels of Fiend Patron Warlock. This gives a feeling of the dark side that Vader has pledged himself to, and really lets us play around with a few features that now add a ton of Sith-themed flavour. Now let's look at his features. Fighting style defense. This will give our Vader an even bigger boost to his armor class, buying into the fact he is now no longer as agile as he was when he was a young Jedi. Vader's suit and lightsaber have become his main defense now, so I feel this is quite fitting for our Sith Lord. Second wind. Draw into Vader's ability to use the dark side to heal his wounds on the move. Action surge. Call upon the Force and become the agile warrior Vader was once known for during the Clone Wars, even if it is just for a moment. Become a whirling blur of red and slice through your foes like they were never there. All are insignificant before the Dark Lord of the Sith. Psionic Power Protective Field. The pure fear that Vader strikes into his enemies allows him to use the dark side to summon a Force shield for himself or another Sith ally. Psionic Power, Psionic Strike. Use the hate and anger within Vader to draw more power into your attacks, unleash more damage on the rebel scum. Psionic Power, Telekinetic Movement. The Force at its bare minimum. No bad CGI apples across the table though, please. Extra attack. Whack 'em again, and again, and again. You know how this works. Telekinetic Adept, Psi-Powered Leap. Take the Fly spell when your 3rd level spells unlock to get the most out of this Force ability. You could even flavour this as a Force Leap of old. Telekinetic Adept, Telekinetic Thrust. Use your enemy's fears to Force blast them with prone, helplessly awaiting a Force choke or even a lightning fast blur of red they cannot escape. Indomitable. Vader's suit comes to the rescue again. The extra protection it provides is invaluable on his quest to rule the galaxy. Guarded Mind. The Force is strong with this one. The mind controls that the Jedi will no doubt use on our Vader will no longer work. A true Sith Lord with unlimited power. Divine Soul. The evil alignment spell option picks itself here. Inflict wounds, very dark side. Favoured by the gods. Vader's foes always fail to grasp how he gets so lucky all the time. Vader's tenacity and resilience is always the last mistake his enemies ever make. Quantum Magic. Incredibly helpful for pulling some fun thematic spells. Quick and hold person, anyone? Yes please. Meta Magic. My personal pick of the options for Vader to get really thematic are Quicken Spell and Subtle Spell, but you can really play around with your choices here for some crazy Vader madness. Empowered Healing. Vader doesn't heal others, but in almost any circumstance where the Dark Lord is tested, he grits his teeth and channels the dark side to keep himself moving. Really cool to make our Vader an unforgiving combat monster. Otherworldly Patron. Going with the Fiend means that we'll be obliged to keep slaughtering rebel scum, feeding on the dark side to sustain our power, as we'll see next. Dark One's Blessing. Constantly gaining temporary hit points from killing your enemies is amazing flavour for giving into the dark side and fueling yourself on its power. Eldritch Invocations. Grasp of Hadar and Repelling Blast are awesome flavour options to turn Eldritch Blast into a force pull or push. Damaging an opponent while grabbing them by the throat and ripping them closer to your blade is pure Vader. As we start with athletics and intimidation from our background choice, let's move on to the others. Insight is a great skill for Vader to master. He is relentlessly having to deal with pathetic, grovelling Imperial officers trying to lie about why it's somebody's fault and everyone else's fault that the attack plan failed yet again. As for our last skill proficiency, we'll be going with Perception. Vader is one of the last beings in the galaxy that has knowledge of the Force. He immediately knows when people use the Force and knows how to identify places and objects of power in the Force. He can also use the Force to fill out his surroundings, and when that fails, the suit's heads-up display will pick up what he's missed. Lightsaber. Pester your dungeon master for a lightsaber and never ask them for anything ever again. Full stop. By the way, a quest to find the Sunblade would not be a bad second choice if your DM won't allow a lightsaber. Let's take a look at the Sith holocrons and see if there's anything you can squeeze in between boosting Vader's strength, constitution, and charisma. Blade Mastery. If you can land this one, you really should. This will bring out the flavour of Vader being a master swordsman. Sentinel. Hit them so hard they can't move, then hit them again and again. Warcaster. Keeping concentration in combat and keeping both hands on your weapon. Vader to the letter. Darth Vader's Force abilities, should be centered around making him as close to his Star Wars universe power level as possible. Here's some ways for Vader to use the power of the Force, and as always there's nothing stopping you from asking your DM to change it to the names of the spell as it's pure Vader flavour. Command, Force dominate your foes, detect magic, open your senses to the Force, hold person, Force stasis, Eldritch Blast, Force push or pull with crushing power, Mage Hand, fine manipulation of small objects, not apples across the table though please. Haste, Force speed for when Vader needs to be faster. Counterspell, turn aside your opponent's Force powers with ease. Featherfall, levitate down from tall heights. Catapult, bombard your foes and Force throw whatever is on hand. Fly, for use with telekinetic leap. With that all said and done, that concludes our Darth Vader build. Now he is ready to go and hunt down some Jedi Knights. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please slash the like and subscribe button with your lightsaber, and until next time.